are new here, welcome. If you are not, welcome back. Hugs, bougie kiss, mwah, bougie kiss, mwah. Thank you so much for joining me, bestie. How are you? I hope that 2024 has been off to a great start for all of you. I know it has been for me. So I already know that the angle and the setup is a little different from my usual videos. That is because right now you guys are on my iPad, okay? So y'all are on my iPad because honestly, I'm in the process of getting a new phone because my storage is up to here. And it's also just time for me to get a new phone. So I'm not filming on my phone for the time being. Now, I'm gonna try to be as loud as I can because unfortunately I cannot attach my microphone to my iPad. Yeah, that is a thing. So I'm just gonna have to project and we're gonna work with this, and I'll be getting a new phone soon. So it'll just be like back to normal and blah, 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 stuff you don't care about. Anyway, as always, if you would like to book with me, www.lawofassumtionprincess.com. Please make sure to read my disclaimer in full. My disclaimer will answer a lot of questions. I go through pretty much everything under my disclaimer and explain everything. And it helps you out. It helps me out. You get the whole shebang. You already know. Okay, so let's jump into it. This is such a long awaited video. This is a very, very long awaited video. I have talked about this book on my channel briefly, but I've never gone in depth. And today is the day that I get to tell y'all about, okay, one of my favorite books ever. I don't even want to say that it is my favorite book on law of assumption because it gets deeper than just law of assumption. It really delves into consciousness. And I think that this book is really great for people who are just now getting into law of assumption, consciousness, awareness, etc., and really want like a cohesive, precise yet digestible understanding of it. The book is called The World is a Mirror by Nada Amari. Y'all, it is such a good book. I have read this book at least 3 times in full, and no exaggeration, I'm getting ready to go ahead and read it again tonight. I love this book, and the reason that I love it so much is because it is just so easy to understand. It makes things like quite simple to realize. Like even me like reading this book, and the reason why I keep reading it over and over is because I had several epiphanies when I read this book. Okay, I had several epiphanies and I was like, oh my God, like even though it's so simplistic, it is really eye-opening to the fact that you are the creator of your own reality. Like you really genuinely are. Now, she has several iterations of her book. Like she has paperback, she has digital. I got the one that's digital, y'all. And I want to pull up a specific excerpt of her book that I really, really liked and I really like enjoyed. There's several. There's so many parts of this book that I can just read this book and pick it apart for hours because there's just too many elements of it that make so much sense that just have you like, huh, y'all know what I always say, sitting on it. Like I will sit on some shit. Like if something strikes a chord with me, I will like marinate it and ponder on it for hours because I love thought-provoking shit. Like I love something that makes me go, oh my gosh, wait a second, you're right about that. Right? Okay, give me a second to pull this up, y'all, because you already know how it is when you're like looking for something in your phone. I found it. Okay, besties. So it says, and listen to this, and really sit on it, think about it. It's only you against yourself. All you have ever experienced is your own energy. There is no opposing force. Oh my God. Like, I love this. Okay, sorry. You generate the illusion of an opposing force. Everything is subjective to you. Everything responds to you because it's your reality. There are no limitations besides the ones you choose to project. So stop getting in your own way. All you will ever experience is your own energy being reflected back to you. It's impossible to experience someone else's or something else's energy. That all bad circumstances you ever experienced were just a mirror showing you who you are on a deeper level, showing you your beliefs, assumptions, and expectations. Now, this is just one excerpt. That's one little passage from her book. where's the lie? I can't find the lie. Now, that was one of the specific passages where when I first read it, even though I've been doing the law of assumption for 3 years, as we know, even though I have been in this community for a while, reading it in a sentence where, again, it was just so simplified and so digestible and easy to understand, okay? It was almost like another realization. It was almost like another reawakening happening for me, because I was like, she is so right. She is absolutely right. And this is a book that I recommend to beginners, especially because it is just such an easy read. And it really hits you. It really sits with you, and it really gets you to realize, okay, I need to stop being second fiddle in my own story and stop making excuses, all right? And stop feeling sorry when I am in the front seat. And I think that it's also really enriching because she talks about her past experience. You know, she talked about in the beginning of the book, when she was younger, she would convince herself that if she does a bad thing, if she says a bad word, if she does something that is, you know, negative, or what she was taught was, you know, bad behavior, naughty, whatever you would like to call it, she would assume that something bad was going to happen to her. She also goes in depth about how she had her own personal journey of seeking many different outlets. Religious wise, I think she said that she dabbled even in understanding, you know, witchcraft and tarot. Not that there's anything wrong with those things. Not that it is, but we all know that we govern everything. But I think that that was very special and very personable, because a lot of people have gone through those same stages of thinking that the thing outside of them that they find is the thing that gives them the power, right? So I felt as though this book on a personal level was so easy to identify with, because a lot of us can relate, adhering to the illusion that there is a power outside of us, that we're doing something wrong, that we need somebody else to give us the power and then we can have the power, etc. And that's just part of the reason why I think that this book is so alluring. It is just an alluring read. And even just the title of the book, The World is a Mirror, like, you can take that at face value and know that in itself is literally, like, there cannot be a truer statement. She's absolutely right. The world is a mirror. It's consistently reflecting back to you who you are being, what your beliefs are, etc., etc. Another thing that I love about this book, I mean, it's a million and one reasons, but listen, that's the reason why I'm talking about it, because it's so good. I highly recommend. And I also just want to preface that I am not sponsored or anything by this woman. I don't even think that she knows who I am, okay? This is genuinely a book that I recommend to a lot of my clientele, and I have genuine love in my heart for. These are just my opinions, 100%. I have read several books on consciousness and law of assumption, and they are all good and they all hold validity and they're great. But personally, my personal experience and opinion is that this book is just very well written. It's very structured, and it gets down to the nitty gritty. It provides relief. It gives examples. It just hits every nook and cranny. That's why I think that you should go get it. But one point that she makes in this book that also very much so sticks out to me is that, you know, the false premise that exists is that the world is already made up of these rules, and it was created before you even got here, and all you're supposed to do is be born into this and adhere to what they say. You're not bound by this. You're not bound by this limited 3D realm. And she talks about that, and the awakening, the realization that you are not bound by any of the limits that are being imposed onto you. You can always deny it. You can always refuse it. If the world is just like if you were at the dinner table and somebody says, oh, do you want an extra bite? You are always welcome to say, no, thank you, I'm full. You can do that with your 3D, bro. This is what consciousness is all about. It's being aware that you are a higher form of consciousness existing within this human body on this 3D realm, and this is not who you really are. You're not limited or bound to this. We know this. I could go on and on and on. I could go on and ramble about it, but we're here to experience we're humans having a human experience, right? We are God having a human experience, because like, here's the thing. God is everything, everywhere, all at once, all the time. God is never not there, because God can't be confined. I don't even think God can be limited by descriptors. Let me get off that. But at any rate, it is such a good read. When I first dived into this book, I was very much so really getting into consciousness. Like, this was like middle of last year. I was like really getting into consciousness and awareness and really understanding it on a deeper level. And this book, out of several books that I have read, is the one that really did the trick for me. She talks about how emotionally regulating yourself can a lot of times come through your thoughts. She, and that was something that was also, damn, this lady made so many damn points in this book that I'm just like now reflecting on it. And I'm like, there are so many valid things that I could say. But another thing that she stated in this book that also stuck with me was, emotions are one thing. And y'all know how I feel about that. Y'all know how I talk about emotions. There never, ever is ever going to be a time where you come on this channel and you find me shaming you for feeling, okay? But what I like that she pointed out in this book that I found very crucial and very true was that, a lot of times the emotional turmoil that you can be experiencing can actually be coming from your thoughts, and you're not even really realizing it. So for example, how many times have you gone to the store and maybe you went a little bit over budget, right? And then you start freaking out because you spent more money than you were supposed to, and you just start having second doubts and you start feeling really shitty. What Nada points out in this book is that it's not necessarily the amount of money that you spent per se, but it is the thoughts around money and the thoughts that you are creating around said subject that are causing you more suffering than you realize. So let's say I did go over budget at the store. If I make the decision to have better thoughts and create a better story that supports, money comes right back. Money boomerangs. Money comes right back around. It's okay. There's nothing for me to worry about. Money is plentiful. It's never ending. Money loves me. I'm a magnet to money. Versus, oh my God, I spent so much money. I'm not going to make that money back. How am I going to pay the rent? How am I going to pay the bills? How is this going to happen? I shouldn't have never did that. I know it's so hard for me to make money. Which one do you think is going to emotionally fulfill you? Let's be honest here. And I know that the way I'm describing it, it sounds like, okay, been there, done that. We know this. We know these are the remedials. But I'm telling you guys, read this book. I'm going to make a second video about this book because there are a lot of points that I still have to make. I might fucking make 4 more, okay? Because there are so many elements of this book that I would like to break down and really get into. But I wanted to make this video to present it to you all because it really is, to me, in my humblest opinion, a life-changing book. And I love it. And I think that you should pick it up. And I think that you should read it. And I know, honestly, if you do pick it up and you do read it, you're going to come back to this video and you're going to say, thank you, Tiffany. Because it really is that good, genuinely. I don't want to keep rambling. I just kind of wanted to present this to you guys because this is going to be something that I talk about a lot more on my channel. And this is kind of like my introductory video to talking about consciousness in longer form and all of us getting on one accord and going into 2024 and knocking them dead, because I told y'all I really want a lot of y'all to really get the hang of understanding the full capacity of consciousness, because you're going to be fucking kicking ass in life. And that's on period. Okay, so man, Nada, if you ever see this video, thank you so much for writing this book. I love this book. It is an amazing read and I never get tired of reading it. It is genuinely so fulfilling and I just find it so liberating, and just every thought that I had has been put to words. And I just love that. I love what you did with this, and y'all go get it. Go get it. I'm gonna read one more passage from this book before I go, bestie. This is a little bit longer, but I really wanted to put this in here, okay? Life is exactly like your dream at night. The only difference is that you willingly put yourself in the dream. So let's rather call it a game. So you decide to play this game of limitation. You decided to forget all of your power, your godhood, your unlimited potential, tie your hands and put yourself in a labyrinth, hide behind some clues here and there, and most importantly, forget everything. Forget your true nature and even forget that you are playing a game. Gamble at its finest. The question is, will you end up remembering? The remembering is what is called a spiritual awakening, because you are waking up from a dream. Not totally, as a total awakening will imply death, but partially, as in realizing that you are dreaming physical reality. It turns from a dream to a lucid one, where all of a sudden you can consciously control everything and everyone around you. But to make the challenge exciting but also moderately difficult, you must go into a deep slumber. Everything around you has to reinforce that you are incapable and limited, and that you are only human, and that things happen to you, that you are but a victim of fate and circumstances. And this here is the biggest false premise. The outside world is already a built-up place that you were born into, and you must play by its rules. It exists with or without you. You are nothing more than another number on a list. There are billions of people like you, and you have to share the pie. This is the starting point, your first innocent understanding of life. That, to me, the magnitude that that holds, the power that that possesses right there. I love it. Okay, if that is not a testament to the fact that you need to go ahead and get this book, go ahead and get this book. And I'm gonna be back on here next week, if probably even earlier, hell, to talk about this more so in full, because it is such a book. But yes, this is my favorite law of assumption book. I'm gonna end it right here. If you guys don't forget to follow me, you guys, at It's Her Universe on Twitter. Also, don't forget to follow me on Instagram and TikTok at TiffriahGrande. And I also have my Law of Assumption Instagram, which is just Law of Assumption Princess. And until next time, you know that I love you. 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 I love you.
Switching the positions for you.